Welcome to 30 Days of Remembering. I'm Shaman Gray, your guide, and this is Ministry of Style Studios, a place, a space, a house for the sacred practice of midlife, a gathering place for those of us standing on the threshold between who we have been and who we are remembering ourselves to be. The invitation is for you to come and sit with me. Let me tell you what I noticed. Let me share what I remembered. Maybe something in this will stir something in you, something that you already know. With that, let's get started. The question for the collective today is, what was the first thing you were ever asked to wear? And the clue comes in the form of names. I'm guessing that most people will probably say clothes, shirts, dresses, the swaddle blanket they wrapped you in just after birth, something someone placed on your body, right? And what if I told you the very first thing you ever wore wasn't something hanging in your closet? It was your name. Before someone chose your first clothes, your first style, before you ever knew what colors made you feel alive, before you ever opened a closet door and chose who you wanted to be in the world, you were given a name, your first garment. Now, a name isn't necessarily something we receive before we understand what it carries. Someone speaks it over us, someone writes it on a certificate, someone calls us into being when they sign that certificate. Someone carries us into the world and places a word, a sound, a piece of identity onto our shoulders. And we carry that. And then we spend our lives learning how to wear it. Sometimes our names feel like home. Sometimes they feel heavy AF. Sometimes we grow into them, and sometimes we grow away from them. Sometimes they become a call to action or not. Sometimes we spend years trying to find our way back to the power within that first garment, which may no longer fit anymore. There's something sacred in that. Because names carry stories. They carry family, they carry memory, they carry the hopes, the dreams, the prayers of the people who came before us. And in many indigenous traditions, we understand ourselves through relationships. We know we don't arrive here alone. We're connected to the people who carry us, the ones whose hands held us, the one whose sacrifice created a path for us to walk in the first place. In my Taino lineage, we honor that connection. We honor that connection by knowing where we come from. We honor that by knowing whose daughter we are, whose child we are, whose grandson we are, whose people carried us here. Our names are never just about us. They're about the people who named us. They are a reminder that we are part of something much larger than us. They remind us that we are all sacred and that everything is connection. There is another question that comes with a name, a question that life eventually will ask all of us. not only who named you, but who are you? Who are you beneath the names you were given? Who are you beneath the roles you stepped into? Who are you beneath the expectation you learned to carry? There are names that are placed upon us, and then there are names that we actually grow into. There are names that the world gives us. There are names that call us forward. Now, for me, if I may, the journey has been about remembering that identity is not something we create from nothing. It's something that we uncover, something we return to, something we listen for. Before there was a stylist, before there was a medicine woman, a degree, or any of the other titles that I carry to, hide behind, maybe hold me up, make me feel as important as others, there was my name. And I had to do a little research on that because I'm aware of some of the meanings of my name. And until this moment that I was creating this epi, I didn't fully grasp. I knew it in my body, I didn't know it in my brain, and now I get it. I get it, and it has illuminated so much for me. It makes so much sense. And the question that goes along with that is, well, I have like 5 different names, maybe 6, and one more coming from my tribe. What I noticed that there have been different periods in my life when I have called myself, actually not always by choice, people bastardizing my name, shortening my name, giving me a nickname, removing the A's from my name to make other people comfortable. What am I wearing? That's the question. What am I wearing? With each one of those names that I have called myself over the years, and they are all my names, what am I wearing? Does what I'm wearing still belong to me? The clothes, the stories, the titles, the versions of ourselves we created and then dressed to survive in, to belong in, to be accepted. One day, we realize we've been creating rooms for others to come and recognize themselves. Rooms where they can remember. Rooms where they can see the medicine that's been there all along. But sometimes we're so busy carrying the garments we were handed on a sheet of paper, or that we haven't leaned into yet, into the value and the medicine within the very first garment we have ever received, our name. Every day, we have an opportunity to ask ourselves, does this still fit? Does it? Does it still feel like me? Does this still honor who I am becoming? Think about that. So it is. Today's integration practice is pretty simple. I'd like to invite you to write your full name by hand. Not to type it, write it. Let your hand meet the letters. Look at the name you have carried. Ask yourself, who gave me this name? What does this name carry? What parts of the name feel like home? And what part of me is ready to be remembered? And if you want to take this one step further, take your names and pop them into, I would suggest DuckDuckGo, because it's private, and you can use AI because you'll be putting your full name in there. And ask it, what are the meanings of your names? And find that out, whether they're your given names or your chosen names, or the names perhaps the Spirit has chosen for you. Put the meaning of your names into an AI, private, and then ask it to put all of those meanings together and see what comes up for you. And that's it. Until next time, remember, you're not only what you have been called, you are also what you are remembering. The garment no one sees before we ever chose our style, before you were ever given something you spent a lifetime learning how to wear. Before you do anything, check your heart, then speak your truth, and make damn sure whatever you're doing it with much, much love. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad you're here with me on this journey. I'm Shaman Gray.